Hey, I'm Kathy Santo, and this is Nancy, and she's one of my trainers at the school. You can see she's got a little logo shirt on, and we are here to talk about something near and dear to our hearts, which is how to properly live with a dog.
That's great. Yep. We have so many clients that come in with so many issues about what to do because they just got a new puppy or a rescue dog.
And we feel bad because they don't have a lot of good information. And they get information from their friends and their family, well-meaning, but not always on point.
Right.
And we also know that people didn't get a dog to jump right into training. They get a dog, like a rescue and a puppy, and they have a few weeks of, oh, it's so cute.
Yes.
Oh, we call that what phase? The honeymoon.
Yes, absolutely.
And we can actually tell you it lasts about 3 weeks.
Yep.
Is that how most honeymoon phases go?
No.
Like
They
for
should,
people?
they should be longer.
Well, with dogs, it's about 3 weeks. I guess it should be longer with people.
Yes.
I'm still in the honeymoon phase.
Me too.
Yeah. 32 years. Woo! Got married when I was 5. Woo! She got married when she was 7. Okay. So we understand that happens, but we want you to know that behaviors will start showing up that you probably won't love. And then at that point, what we hear is, oh, it's not that big a deal. You know, he ate our shoe or jumped on grandma.
Right.
And they just say it's going to be fine. They'll outgrow it. Oh my
Yes. But it is a big deal, and they're not going to outgrow it. It's going to get worse the more you let them do it. It's a pattern.
And it escalates.
Absolutely. Yes.
And in a few months, few weeks actually, we have the holidays happening. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And so everything that you're doing sort of falls apart because your time is full.
Right.
You're shopping, you're inviting people over, you're planning things, you're doing lots of things. And so dog training goes from top of the list to bottom of the list. Right. You know what really messes me up with this camera? That I can't tell the difference between left and right. So I'm like, oh, my hand's not in the picture. Let me move. And I'm moving farther away.
Oh, right,
it's like opposite. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
Yeah, it starts here and it gets worse and worse and worse. There we go. Well, it works. Okay. So you attempt to use things that you hear from your friends, your family, it doesn't work. And so that's when you show up on our doorstep. Probably crying.
Right.
And we feel bad for you. It shouldn't be like this. It really shouldn't. So what you need is some really good advice. And after about 10 minutes of working with us, they realize, oh my God, it is so easy.
Exactly. I did just need a little help.
Yeah. I mean, and when you go to in-home, what's that like? I mean, it's the same thing.
It is. And it's usually the same problem, which is a lot of dogs have too much freedom. And the other thing is people have parties. Dogs don't like parties like we do.
That's not the
They
idea
don't want
of a good
people
time.
coming in and greeting them and touching them and feeling them. They just don't like it. So as soon as I start to explain to people that I go to their homes, they need their own space. They don't want this big party. That's why you have a crate. Get them comfortable, and then the dog can come out once you can handle the dog and there's not all that excitement going on.
Right.
And it makes a huge difference.
It's such a human thing, that whole party event thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Dogs are like, I like my day the way it is.
Right.
I don't like strangers in my house.
Right.
Maybe
Absolutely.
I like it a little bit because I get really cranked up and hyper in the beginning, but after a few minutes, I'm like, it's okay, you guys can leave now. And they don't, and then they feed them food that they shouldn't have. And
No, right. And the owner gets so upset because the dog is jumping on people, and the guests are saying, it's okay, which we know it's not because they're wearing
it's okay for
nice
them
clothes.
because they get to leave.
Yeah, exactly.
And the problem is with the owner.
Exactly.
And the tummy upset later in the day will happen
Right.
to the owner. Yeah.
Right. Right. It's
It's just
not good.
too much freedom. And I think part of it too is that people have so much sympathy for their dog.
Yes.
They're like, oh, it's a baby puppy or it's a rescue dog.
Yes.
And we want to make up for all of what was done wrong to that rescue dog by giving it so much freedom.
And that's the thing. And I always say this, the rescue dog, no matter what happened in the dog's life, it's living in your home now. It has a better life probably than me. Who wouldn't want to live in this beautiful home? They get fed all the time. They get to come to school. They get to do everything. So the past is the past.
Yep. And you got to come in with rules.
Yes.
This is how it is. Because I'm telling you, it is harder. And we see this every day. It's harder to say to the dog, you can have everything. Welcome to your kingdom.
Right.
And then 3 weeks later, when they're ruining your house and everything else, you say, okay, no, you can't have that. And then you get pushed back. I would rather give less and give more as you go along.
Right.
It's just a better deal.
Right.
All right. So let's talk about the 3 phases that people live in.
Okay.
There's 3 of them. There's damage control. which you're probably in right now. And damage control is when you're putting out fires, right? The dog jumped on grandma. Oh my goodness, don't do that. The dog is lunging for something you dropped on the floor, jumping on people, right? It's just chaos. And you're saying, don't do this, don't do that. Oh, stop it, stop it, stop it. And the dog is like, this is kind of cool.
Right. The dog thinks it's a game.
Right.
It's fun.
He's like, watch me get my people chasing me right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
like
the
this.
biggest one.
Somebody in class said this to me today. My dog grabbed my glasses. I'm not going to say who said it. And started running around. And it didn't have to happen because damage control is a place you want to get out of pretty quickly. So we moved from damage control into management. Mm-hmm. We love management. Management does not mean your dog has to be trained. You don't need a trained dog to put him in an X pen or a crate.
Or a crate. Like, were your glasses in the crate? How did he get the dog?
Okay, she's referring to a very bad thing that I did a million years ago when a student called me crying that she came home from work and her dog destroyed her wedding album that she'd gotten a few days earlier. And I said, Jackie, why did you put the wedding album in the crate when you went to work?
Right?
She hung up on me. She should have. She called me back later. It was trying to make light of a situation that probably it was too soon.
Yeah,
too soon. So anyway, but that's what we talk about. Why are you putting it in the crate? And that's our sarcastic way and sort of like funny way of saying to you, if you can't supervise, the dog is either crated, gated, X-penned, or tethered.
Yes.
We love tethering.
Yep.
Tethered to you.
Absolutely.
On your belt loop. Although, you know what? We all wear a lot of Athleta pants. Mm-hmm. We used to wear jeans. Not so much anymore.
No.
Don't want to talk about it. But now that we have these Athleta pants, there's nowhere to clip the leash. So what we wind up doing is we get a leash put around our waist and then clip the leash to there. So it looks ridiculous. But,
But it's effective.
We're not. This is not glamour.
Right. No, not
you
at
can
all.
see this is not glamour. This is dog training. So by doing that, I can now prevent my dog from running out at the door, jumping on somebody. What happens when you drop stuff on the floor? Are you like diving to get there before the dog does?
I think, unfortunately, most dogs are getting it. And if it's a piece of food, the owners will be like, well, it was a piece of chicken. But sometimes it's not chicken. Sometimes it's a pill or we don't even know it's there.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with putting your dog in an X-pen, especially when you open the door.
Right.
Why let the dog run to the door, jump all over the person, or worse, go out the door, and then you're running in the front yard trying to catch your dog?
It's just, it doesn't have to be like that.
Exactly.
We call it, we don't let the dog rehearse behaviors we don't want them to have forever.
Right.
So if I let you run around and jump on my couch and jump on my friends and pull things off the table, you're just going to know us a lot longer. Because we're going to have more things that we have to help you fix. So dogs come to the table with a set of things you got to fix anyway, like housebreaking and teaching them commands, but don't give them any more.
No.
Don't teach them that they jump on the counter, they can eat your steak.
Right. And the dog is not doing it because it's a bad dog. The dog thinks it's allowed.
They're opportunistic.
Absolutely.
And optimistic.
Yes. And sometimes they get the steak.
Well, that happened to another student who shall remain nameless. He turned his back and the dog jumped on the table and he goes, and I turned around, there was one less steak.
I know who that student was.
It's like Vegas. What happens in dog
yes.
schools, we never say.
Right.
So, I mean, and Nancy and I, we live by this rules, and the other trainers in the school, our dogs aren't allowed to run free in the house until we are 1,000,000% sure they're calm and well-mannered.
Absolutely.
And it varies, right?
Right.
Like my 11-year-old female border collie Trigger was off leash at 6 months.
Right.
And my rat terrier, not until like 3.
Right. And that's great because so many people say to me, does my dog have to be in the crate or tethered to me or in an X-pen for life? And it all depends on the dog.
Right.
My dog is allowed to be out when I'm out because I know what she's going to do. She knows what she's allowed to do. And when I call her, she's coming to me. Or if I put her on a sit as I'm cooking dinner, I know she's going to stay there.
Right. And some people want to live in management. They're like, oh, this is so easy. So we're going to just take our dog from the pen to the crate to the fenced in yard. No. No, you're not living in management. It's a brief stop until you get to a trained dog. So
absolutely.
Like if somebody walks in the house and you're managing, the dog's in a pen or a crate or tethered. But when you have a trained dog and somebody walks in the house, you're saying down, wait, people come in, or place, nobody gets jumped on.
Exactly.
They say, hi, dog, and the dog goes, hey, how you doing?
Right.
Or it's a Jersey dog. It does the head bob. How you doing? Or fist bump. And then that's it. Then they understand.
And it's a good experience for me, my dog, and my guests.
Right.
It's a win-win.
Management doesn't produce the behavior you want. It prevents the behavior that you don't want. And that's key because they're not learning anything in the crate. They're just
absolutely
They're not learning what you don't want them to do, which is equally important.
Right.
But, and this is important, management is not a substitution for mental and physical exercise. It's not a substitution replacement, right? So you have to, under no circumstances can this be your dog's life. Tether to crate, to pen, to yard. No. You have to exercise them. You have to go on walks. You have to do training. They need to have their minds exercised as much as their bodies. How many people do we know?
You got a dog.
Yeah, didn't you get a dog to have fun?
Right.
I know you did.
To go on a nice walk with your dog and not be pulled down the block.
And right now people are saying, well, oh yeah, that's good, Nancy and Kathy. But my dog drags my butt down the street and I can't walk him. My kids can't walk him. And then we say, come to class.
Absolutely.
We
can help you with
so many solutions. You're probably on the wrong collar, probably on the wrong leash. And there's just little things you can do. You know,
absolutely.
And this is the hardest thing to say. Sometimes you taught them that.
Yes. Right? You did. Yeah.
But you didn't know. It's okay. It's like confession. It's a support group. It's okay. Because, you know, if your dog, think about it. If I'm your dog and I'm in the crate and I see you and I like bark and jump and spin in the crate and then you let me out, how do I think I should behave in the crate to get out?
And then you come flying out and jump on me.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to see you and I pet you.
And then I put the leash on and you pull me out the door and we go for a walk.
So as the dog, I think, oh, I did a good job.
No, I'm the dog.
Oh, that's right.
Well, you could be the dog too, but we just want you to understand that a lot of this stuff, little quick fixes, we can help you. It's not forever. It's not tragic. Okay, so let's talk about this. The reality, really, of dog training is it's either getting better or it's getting worse. We love saying that.
Right.
It gets better because you work at it. It gets worse because you don't. And it gets worse not only because they're not training. It gets worse because they're not managing.
Right.
We're back at management again.
Right.
This is a theme.
Right.
It then turns into damage control. And I know, okay, people get sick, life circumstances happen, we get it. But if you can always go back to management when you're in crisis, it's going to be a lot easier on the back end of that to fix what you don't like.
Absolutely.
And I think people think too that, oh, my dog, you should run free. And I was thinking about a student whose dogs run around the house and they just act like wild Indians. And I think I wouldn't let my kids do that. Like my human kids. Would you let your boys do that?
Absolutely
Run on the couch, throw pillows?
Of course not.
Right.
Nobody would.
Her kids are awesome. And so if you don't let your kids do that, you shouldn't let your dogs do that.
Exactly.
I think people do, though, because their dogs are little people in fur coats.
Yes.
And they maybe like them better.
And they don't talk
than their
back.
kids. And they don't ask for like a switch and expensive stuff. And
Right.
they don't want to go to school in Honolulu because they want the college experience. It's going to cost you $80,000 a year. But the thing is, we want you to understand that I think management is a way of showing your love for the dog. Because I know your dog doesn't love getting yelled at.
Nope.
And being wrong all the time. And that's what happens. A dog who's loose in the house with no training, he's no bad dog, stop it, cut it out. And then people get to the point, why did I have a dog?
Right. And it's not fun for the dog. Dogs, they crave discipline. They want to please us.
Mm-hmm. They're contra freeloaders. Do you know what that means?
No.
That means they're against freeloading. They actually did a test. And they hooked the little clay into their heads and they had the brain waves. And they gave a dog, for no reason, they just gave him a cookie. And the brain waves were like, woo. And then same dog, and they did this on a lot of dogs. They said, sit, and gave him a cookie. And he sat and he got the cookie and the brainwaves were like, wow. Yeah. So they like to earn because you know
Absolutely.
what? They were bred to work with man.
Right.
that's why dogs are around, because they started out as hunters and things like that.
Mhm.
So really, management is the key, but you have to back it up with training. If they're just managing, you're never going to get it.
No.
Your dog does not deserve to live like that all the time. Crate, expend, tether. But for now, in the training phase, we need to have that happen. And you know what they're going to ask?
What?
How long?
Mm.
Remember what we said?
Right.
It's different for every dog. And I think people, they unmanage, they take them out of management too soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that we just start to think, oh, my dog is perfect. You know, it needs to be consistent, and you need to test them.
Mm-hmm. So they think their kids are perfect.
Yes.
They probably are.
Mine are. Yours are too, right?
Ours are. We're dog trainers. But we're out of management now. No more crates.
Right.
So that's the biggest thing. Damage control, stop that right now. Get into management and then get into training at the same time. And what is it? It's October, so we're October 3rd.
We're getting
November,
close to
December,
those holidays.
getting close. Yeah. So, but you could do a lot right now. Like if you told me I'm just going to work on come on call and sit and my place command, and at the same time you were managing,
right? Awesome. And just like you always say, little bit of time each day makes such a huge difference.
Little make them games. Like we
absolutely
we have so much fun at class.
Right.
We're basically playing with dogs all day, and we're teaching you that it's fun. I don't want you to look at it like, oh my God, I got to train my dog.
Right. Right. It is fun. Use their food for a reward. Make them do something. They're
Leverage
happy.
it.
Absolutely.
They want it anyway.
They do.
Why am I going to give it to them for free?
Right. They want to work.
Yeah. I have what you want. You need to know 42 million things. Why am I going to give it to you for free?
Right.
Just like kids, make them earn stuff. Okay, so to wrap it up, damage control, get out of it. Management, start living it. And training is really going to help. Now, we would love to give you a free PDF. Yeah, it's going to be posted on my blog, and the link will be in the comment section below. And it's all about a day in the life of how I raise a puppy. But don't say, oh, I don't have a puppy. It doesn't apply. Because it does apply if you have a rescue dog or you're new to this management thing. It sketches out a day from the minute I wake up through when I finally go to bed. Which is
that's great.
Like, yeah.
Exciting.
They can post it on the fridge so everybody in the house sees it. But I always get this comment. People are like, I don't put stuff on my refrigerator. Okay, don't put it on your refrigerator. They don't want their refrigerator to look messy. I don't care where you put it. Put it in the bathroom mirror. But share it with everybody so they know the new rules. So there you go. Everything you need to know about those 3 stages. Get into management, get into training, and we will see you soon. Happy training.
Bye.
Thanks, Nams. This was so much fun. We have to do this
again. Are we done?
No, not yet. I have to hit end broadcast. See that button? Bye, guys.
Stressful.